fire at the Hoover Dam. A fire inside a transformer in the Arizona powerhouse is reported just after 10 this morning. Tourists at the dam shocked by the scene. Within a half hour, crews on site put the fire out. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Marie Mortera. Jim Snyder has the night off. Our Lauren Clark has been out at Hoover Dam all day and she has more on the impact of the fire as well as more witness reaction.
Well, certainly an eventful day right here at Hoover Dam. Tourists watching in shock and horror as a transformer went up in smoke.
All of a sudden, we saw this big plume of smoke, very black smoke.
The dramatic moment captured on camera and posted on social media by Adrian Harrow.
Everybody on the bridge was kind of like, do we leave? Like, what do we do?
The frightening scene under control quickly, says Douglas Hendricks with the Bureau of Reclamation.
Good thing to report, there were no personal injuries. So we quickly, with our fire suppression equipment and with our fire brigade, were able to put the fire out.
Hendricks says the flames sparked on the transformer A5 on the Arizona side of the dam and was extinguished by crews before it could spread to others. That's what helped, he said, prevent problems to the power grid.
We've got engineers and dam management down there now looking to see what caused the fire.
As they piece together the cause, tourists are still allowed and welcome outside the dam, although indoor tours are closed for now. The cause of the damage, also unknown. Now, I've been told that while fires are pretty rare at power plants like this, they're not unheard of, especially when you're dealing with static electricity, transformers, and hydropower. Reporting here at Hoover Dam, Lauren Clark, News 3.
The Bureau of Reclamation, which operates the dam, sent us a statement. It reads in part, there are no injuries to visitors or employees. It went on to say there is no risk to the power grid and power is still being generated from the powerhouse. They are investigating that cause of that fire. As we all know, inflation is now at a 40-year high. But now on top of skyrocketing prices for food and gasoline, it's time for another essential expense, back-to-school shopping.
News 3 Steve Wolford has been looking into the impact inflation is having on getting your kids back to school and some ways that parents can stretch their dollars even more.
This is one website that's becoming very popular with parents right about now. It's Amazon's back-to-school supplies page. But it's not the only place that parents can go to try to find some back-to-school bargains with the first day of school less than 3 weeks away.
I don't know when the budget is.
A teachable moment for the second-grade daughter of Rebecca Arce about a grown-up problem, inflation at a 40-year high.
But this year we're just going to go ahead over to Old Navy, pick out 1 or 2 shirts, and that's it. We're not going to get all crazy and just stick to our school list, and that's it. We're not going to go, get the big backpacks.
And because of record high inflation, Rebecca is not alone. According to topcashback.com, more than 4 in 10 families aren't doing any back-to-school shopping. More than half anticipate to spend more than last year, and about 1 in 3 are budgeting for less than $100 per child. One way to save, according to Wells Fargo's Brian Formisano, is buy in bulk, which might take some teamwork.
If you can go in on it with a couple of parents and be able to split those items or work with the teacher for that class, you can really do a lot.
Or take it to a community-wide level like barbershop owner MJ Bradford.
Teaming up with more members of the community, other small businesses, to put together this event to take some of the stress off the parents.
He started hearing from parents struggling with the cost of sending their kids back to school, so he's helping to host a school supply giveaway on August 6th.
With the inflation, of everything right now and, the importance of making sure that the kids go back to school the right way, motivated, encouraged, we decided this year to come together
and try to get back to school with less.
This year, instead of just going out and buying everything, we're waiting for the school to give us our list, and we're sticking to the list.
Wells Fargo says Americans spent $37.1 billion on back-to-school spending last year, and that record number is likely to go higher. But the question many parents have is exactly how much more or less will be in their child's backpack.
It's unfortunate, but that's kind of the way it feels right now in Clark County School District, that a lot of things we need were on our own.
Local teachers are finding ways to get training against active shooters. As the investigation continues in that deadly Uvalde school shooting in Texas, staff members here in Clark County schools, they're looking for more direction on what actions they need to take in a similar situation.
Crisis in the Classroom investigative reporter Tiffany Lane joining us here in studio with details on what some local teachers are doing, Tiffany, to protect themselves and their students.
Yes, as we know, active shooter training is more and more common with the incidents we're seeing across the country in hospitals, grocery stores, and schools, among other places. And some local teachers looking for more training than what's being offered by the school district. They're taking matters into their own hands. The investigation continues into police actions following the Uvalde shooting that left 19 children and 2 teachers dead. That shooting and recent violent incidents in Clark County schools, leaving some teachers wondering what safety measures they need to take in case of an active shooter situation.
I've personally never had any real active shooter training ever. I've been there. This year will be my 10th year. My school site, my other school where I worked, we have multiple times gone over hard lockdowns.
That's Nevada Education Association of Southern Nevada President Vicki Kreidel. She says active shooter training is absolutely necessary, even though she says the school district hasn't offered it.
It's unfortunate, but that's kind of the way it feels right now in Clark County School District, that a lot of things we need were on our own.
Our union held their own virtual active shooter training session Monday for any CCSD staff members interested in participating. The session led by retired Utah Police Captain and School Resource Officer Justin Chapman.
We will talk about what if the worst of the worst happens.
He gave us a list of signs to look for in a student who might be troubled or planning to come into the building and cause harm to people in the building.
Kreidel says the presentation that looked at examples like Uvalde and the Parkland school shootings provided preventative measures.
That's something I can do. If there's a lock that's not working on my door, I can be the person who contacts who I need to contact to make sure that these things get fixed.
Chapman also showed an app by his company, Aegis Global, that he says would benefit schools, including here in Clark County.
Each person will have the ability to say whether they're safe or unsafe. If they're unsafe, it'll pop up red, and it'll show either in a chat function or some other communication through picture or whatever happens to be, that these are my circumstances right now.
Circumstances like whether there's a shooting outside or someone has been injured.
We've got an update in the chat that's now told us that doors are locked. The big take on this is that communication is instant.
And that's why Kreidel says the district needs to implement more planning just in case.
My understanding is schools do have like a printed safety plan. Like, what do you do in a soft lockdown? What do you do in a hard lockdown? But I've never seen anything specific for an active shooter situation. And, like, for example, like if you're supposed to exit the building in some instances, where do we go?
And I reached out to CCSD to ask what the district does do for active shooter training and how often, including whether there has been any training since the Uvalde shooting. In a statement, the district said that CCSD police train for active assailant scenarios and that officers meet with school administrators at the beginning of the year to review crisis response plans for staff. Now, staff, students, parents, what are your thoughts on active shooter training? Have you had this in your classrooms? Do you feel prepared if there is an active shooter situation? Reach out to my tip line, schooltips@news3lv.com, or call 702-805-0489.
Hi everybody, I'm Reed Cowan from News 3 Las Vegas. We want to thank you for checking out our YouTube channel. Remember, you can always see more of our videos by clicking on the video links. And also don't forget to click that subscribe button so that you don't miss out on any of our YouTube updates. Thanks for watching.